Section 7.2 is percents and proportions. I can use proportions to solve percent problems. Solving percent problems here, we can represent A is P% of B using the proportion A over B equals P over 100, where A is part of the base B and P% or P over 100 is the percent. We talked in section 7.1 about how P% is the same as per 100. So that's just rewriting it in another way, but they mean the same thing here. These are the same. As far as our second ratio goes, A is the part that we're looking for, and B, our base, is the whole, where we start. This is our original. So when we're talking about these problems, A is the is part, and B is the of part. A is part of base B. Okay, example 1 here. What percent of 7 is 4? So we're looking for percent, that's P. So P over 100. We set that equal to our ratio with our values. Here we're comparing 7 and 4, and we want to know that 4 is the part, and we want to know what part of that, what part is it of 7. So since it's the part, and it goes in the numerator, and 7 is our base, that's where we start. If we had 7, how much percent-wise is 4? Once we have our proportion, we can solve it by using cross products. We take 7 times P equal to 4 times 100. Here we get 400. And to get rid of the multiplication, we divide. Here we get 57.14, which is 57 and 1/7. And that's a percent. 57 and 1/7%. Okay, check. Does my answer make sense? Well, we know that 4 is a little more than half of 7, and 57% is a little bit more than 50%, half. So our answer seems to make sense here. Here, go ahead and pause and give these a try if you'd like. We're going to use a proportion to answer the question. What percent of 72 is 54? We're going to set up our proportion. P% is P over 100 equals 72 is our base. And we want to know how much is 54 of that. Again, it's is 54 and of 72. Is over of. Use our cross products here. 54 times 100 equals P times 72, which is 72P. Now, to get rid of our multiplication, we divide, and P is going to be 75. And since we're looking for a percent, we label it as percent. What percent of 60 is 25? Same idea here. We're looking for what percent. So P over 100 equals 60 is our base, and we want to know what is part 25. Again, to solve here, cross products. P times 60 equals 25 times 100. Multiply, and to get rid of the multiplication, we divide. Here, we get 41.6 repeating, or 41 2/3%, which is also the same as 41.6 repeating percent. Either one of those would work. What percent of 90 is 40? We're looking again for percent, so P over 100. of 90, that means 90 is our base. And we want to know is 40. So 40 is what part? So 40 out of 90 gives us what percent? Cross products, 90 times P, 40 times 100, divide by 90, and P is going to be 44.4 repeating percent, or 44 and 4 over 9%. What percent of 35 is 7? So again, 35 is our base. That's the total that we're talking about. And we want to know what is the part 7 as a percent. So P percent is P over 100 equals our part over our base is over of. You can use cross products here. 7 times 100 equals P times 35. 700 equals 35 times P is 35P. We divide to get rid of our multiplication. And here, P is going to be 20%. In example 2, we want to know what number is 24% of 200. So this one's set up a little bit differently in that we're looking for what number is the part. We know our base is 200 and we know our percent. So our percent is 24 over 100 equals, we want to know what number is, which means we're looking for our part. And 200 is still our base. Here, again, we can solve using cross products. Anytime we have a proportion, we can solve using cross products. Here I get 4,800 equals 100 times A, and we get rid of our multiplication by dividing. My number here is 48. We are not looking for a percent here, so I don't label it a percent. We know our percent is 24. This is just a number, so we don't label it with a percent sign. It's just 48. In example 3, in a heptathlon, an athlete earns points in 7 track and field events. Suppose an athlete earns 836 points in the 100-meter hurdle. This score makes up 16% of the total score. What is the total score? So here, what we have is 16%, and we have 836 points. We want to know what is the total score. The total score is our base. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the total. The 836 here, that's our part. That's one part out of the 7. And we know that it's 16%, which is 16 over 100. And since we know these are equivalent, we can set them equal to each other in a proportion and use cross products. So 16 times B equals 100 times 836. 16B equals 83600, 83,600. Go ahead and divide by 16. That gets us B by itself. And we get 5,225 points. And again, here we're looking for the total score. It's in points. We don't label it as a percent because we're not looking for a percent. Here, feel free to pause and give it a try if you'd like. Use a proportion to answer the question. What number is 18% of 50? So we're looking for what number is part of 50. We know it's 18%. We can write that as 18 over 100. We know that 50 is our total. We want to know what number is just 18% of that. Is our numerator, and of is our denominator. And we are looking for the part there. We have a proportion, so we use cross products to solve. 18 times 50 equals 100 times A. 18 times 50 is 900 equals to 100a. To get a by itself, we're going to divide to get rid of the multiplication, and we get 9. So 18% of 50 is 9, and again, not a percent. Here we have 105 is 84% of what number? So 105 is 84%. That's the part. We know the part. We don't know of what number we started with. Of is our base. We want to know what number did we start with. And we know that's 84%, so 84 over 100. Again, one more time here, we have proportions, and we solve proportions by cross multiplying. Top of one times bottom of the other equals top of the other times bottom of the first. 84 times b is just 84b. 105 times 100 is 10,500. Now, we divide by 84 to get rid of our multiplication, and b is going to be 125. So 105 is 84% of 125. Check, does my answer make sense? Well, 105 is smaller than 125, but it's kind of close, and 84% is a pretty high percent, so that answer does seem reasonable. If you look on the bottom of page 336, there's a table that's going to be helpful with when you're trying to set these up. It shows you what kind of a problem in words and as a fraction, as proportions there in order to set these up and to get your numbers in the right spots. So when you're working on your assignment, if you get confused, that is a good place to look. And that's all I have for section 7.2.